Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for coming for another episode of the Everyday Black Man Podcast, a podcast for authentic black male thoughts. I am Riker, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Armstead, R. Reed, and DJ All Might. Follow us on Twitter at EVYD Black Men, Instagram Everyday Black Men, and the Everyday Black Men Facebook page. The website is coming soon with some wonderful artwork that we are going to be pleased to share with everyone. For today's topic, please keep in mind this happened at the beginning of the month, but we've been a little bit backed up, so we're going to go ahead and blow through our content instead of depriving you of something that you might have found to be a little bit humorous. But towards the end, unfortunately, we're going to have to end it a little bit early, but next week we're going to kick back in with another episode. I apologize for being a little bit late. Normally I try to get this out on Thursdays or Fridays, but life comes at you fast. But without further ado, let's start the show.
This is the first podcast of 2020.
This
2021.
2021.
Oh man,
21.
wow.
Yeah,
I forgot to add the
21,
one.
21.
I did it. I forgot I am the one.
You are not the one. This is not the Jet Li movie. But thank you, special guest Tatyanna and AK for joining us for this podcast, the first official podcast of 2121. Unfortunately,
21.
yeah, that's what I'm calling it. 2121. But unfortunately for 2121, people probably won't hear this until the third or fourth week, so they're gonna think that we just did whatever. And it is what it is, and ain't what it ain't. Ladies and gentlemen, we also do have some special guests that will be coming later on in the month. And as the months turn to more months, we'll have more special guests. So definitely look forward. As you guys found out last episode, or should I say 2 episodes ago, DJ All Might has joined us as a full-time member.
Need to talk
we're
about
glad to
my
have him.
salary.
Yeah,
I got my
hey,
check.
man. Hey, man,
You
yeah,
get what
your check
everybody
is
else
$0.
did.
Your check is $0.
I'm in a
We'll be
compromised
I'll see
position
you
here.
double. I'll
We'll
see
be-
you double.
He gonna pay you $2.
I don't like these Georgia rates. I am a Chicago kid. I demand cost of living for my home of record.
Hey, man, we don't fuck with Teamsters like that.
Oh, see, that's why I work for the white man when I can.
Hey, man, you go on ahead with that white man, and you guys have fun together. But let's go ahead and kick it. New year, same problems. White stormed the Capitol, and now they want to ban the racists instead of doing the pruning with the hate groups, like what Twitter, Facebook, and Apple should have been doing all along. The best tweet I think on this was Elon Musk when he was like, "Well, if Facebook wasn't currently showing people everything that they want to hear, we wouldn't have this problem currently." And to be honest, I think he's right. Y'all are the ones who made it to where people only get to see the things that they want to see, so that y'all can make the most amount of money that you want. And now that it's blowing up with white people basically acting a damn fool, y'all are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this was gonna happen." Like, you didn't think coddling white people was bad?
Well, I mean, if that's within
So
the algorithm.
let me ask
Yeah.
y'all this. I hate to cut it, but I mean, on some real stuff, you really feel like that's Twitter, Facebook, and all them? You think that's their place to be trying to control the conversation, or should they just
Well,
in which the conversation is
seeing
had?
as how everyone wants to go after Section 230, then they're going to get tighter and tighter on, especially if that ever does get released. But yeah, they have a responsibility because they can be sued. If we lived in a world like what you libertarians want, and not saying that you're a libertarian, just in general, if we lived in a world like libertarians where you're not
Hold on.
responsible for what someone else does,
You know
then
they're
you're
not
right.
responsible because of 230. They can't
Well,
be
no,
sued.
they're not responsible in totality. But remember, Facebook has gotten sued and lost several court cases because of things that were said on there that they didn't clamp down on fast enough. Like when that one woman got murdered, Facebook knew that the boyfriend was planning it, and they knew that he had the means, but they didn't do anything because it was just speech. And then when she got murdered, they got sued, and they're like, "Oh, this is gonna stand up on 230." And the judge is like, "Nigga, they were planning a murder. Like, you didn't do anything."
I think you should just be careful because today is Trump. Remember, they'll do the same thing to somebody like Bernie when the tide's down.
Well, no, they won't do something like that to Bernie because they don't have to. They could just block Bernie completely.
And that's the only reason why they cut Donald Trump from even tweeting stuff anymore.
Well, he actually incited a act against the government.
United
Like
States of America.
yeah,
Did he?
basically. Yeah, I mean, he technically did. Inciting means, I mean, even if
He
you just,
asked people to come to the Capitol. You
he
can't get
said,
away from that fact.
he
You can
said, I will go
say that
walk with you.
exactly. He told them he was going to walk with them, and then when the Secret Service was like, "That's not a good idea," they made him back out. But he
But
asked for them to come. He asked for them to protest and not to give up. Anything that happens on that, Like, if we throw a party right now as an everyday black man plus Tatyanna plus AK, and the party gets wild and out of control, and someone dies, we're all going to be looking at time because we threw the party. We're responsible.
The LLC.
You could you could try the LLC route, but you will still be doing jail time with your
But
black ass.
but
But
they're
no, all
holding
right.
Trump
So
responsible. But at the same time, though, like they're blocking the president, sitting U.S. president. As much as I
No,
don't
I
like
agree.
Trump, like
all right,
that's a hell of a statement to make right there in the back. And you got to keep in mind, yeah, like they are responsible for crimes. If you see crimes gonna happen, they got to step in. But at the same time, though, they seem to only focus on people on the right. You
That's
see,
not true.
like we're
No,
doing
that's
it
not
so
true.
all
equally
right.
on both
My
sides.
I
You
wanted
know.
to ask, following the first time when you initially asked that question, why are we holding them accountable to the level of like we should hold the government accountable? Like it's a private organization. It's the
Hmm.
profiles are free. You signed up for it, and they
Yeah,
have
but
policies that say what they can and cannot do, or what they can do if you violate these policies. Granted, they didn't clamp down on it like they should have earlier, but when they actually invoke their right with their property, just like if it was a tangible or brick and mortar shop where they have the right to refuse service to anybody they want, they technically did
Oh, they hate
officially.
that part. They hate that
So
part because
long.
Amazon did that right with Parler, and people are like Amazon can't take away their right. Yeah, they have the ability to refuse service to whoever, but they're the biggest web host. Y'all were
So
okay with capitalism. If you
yeah.
want to be okay with capitalism, then that means that you're allowing it. But they're oligarchy. Oh, so now you're a leftist and you want to stop capitalism? Like, choose which one you want to be. Either you want to be capitalist, and that means anything goes, or you want to be protectionist, in which case you want to do a democratic socialism thing where there's limitations on companies. But in either case, you can't have it both ways when it's your team that's down.
People are asking for what is that thing they always show in movies and everything with robots where they're programmed not to harm humans, but it
they always
requires
end up
the
harming
iRobot,
humans.
yeah, but it
iRobot.
requires the removal of human interaction and human thought, and that's what they want. There's human error and everything, as long as humans are involved. So if they're basically want like some form of digital enforcement that catches everything and does it without anybody being held accountable, which ain't gonna happen because you'll end up with the fucking Ultron theory of, well, y'all said protect you all, and guess what? You're the biggest threat to yourself. So now I got to come for all you niggas.
True.
Well, you got to look at what Jack Dorsey said, and I believe that's his name, but
Yeah,
the
it is.
founders of Twitter. But yeah, you got to look at what he said. Like you have to consider the volume of information they're going through on a day-to-day basis to try and police that is impossible. And he is an advocate of their approach, whether or not they actually execute it this way. That's another conversation. But he's an advocate of, like we're more like 18. Call one of you guys on the phone and threaten you, and then go kill you. Who is AT&T to cut my phone off? See what I'm saying? Like they handle so much data. Like that ultimately comes down to the person. And then if you don't get rid of them, then you got a whole bunch of evidence right here you can look at and then help prosecute for said crime. But if you remove them, you're just pushing them underground to something else. Like it's all
But
about
that's
having a
prostitution
conversation. And
argument.
how's that? How's it?
Because the argument with prostitution that people have always pushed for legalization is by legalizing it, you push the really bad actors who are having sex with kids to the bottom. But it's like they're gonna be there at the bottom regardless. Like no matter how we go about policing this, whether it's more policing of this stuff or less policing of it, there's always gonna be the bad actors. The problem is the thing that you're saying makes sense if we policed everyone equally. But we live in America, so everyone isn't policed equally. So when white people act a fool, we're unwilling to do it. I mean, you can just look at the Boston bomber. They were mad that kid got put on death row, and they're like, he just made one mistake. He made a mistake that killed people and wounded dozens. Like you can't play it both sides, and that's the
Well,
problem.
the
Is
American justice system does play both sides. Remember,
oh yeah,
black
but
man
that's what I'm
rapes
saying. It's like
woman,
that's why we have to. Yeah,
white man
it is a
sexual.
terrible.
What is it? Sexual assault.
Yeah. Black man, it's
Black
a rape. White woman or white man, it's a sexual assault, and it's like that's literally the same thing. Well, no, see what
rape.
happened was Tyrone kissed that girl because remember that happened to that black kid. He kissed a girl and they prosecuted him for rape, and they won. The prosecution won that case. It was a consensual kiss, but because she was 17, he was 18, and her white father didn't like it. It was rape.
And murder versus homicide, first degree murder versus homicide. It's a lot of bullshit.
Or
The two
aggravated
justice
assault.
systems.
That's
Like
And
that's
they
with and
don't.
with
crazy.
all that being said, why would they? Why they make it? Why are we allowing them to make any decisions at all? Why do we trust them? Let
I
everything
think
Be-
flow.
because
what
you
Let
because
everything
you
flow.
you voluntarily signed up for that account.
AK,
And
I
But
do
no,
not.
I'm talking about as far as like Facebook or Twitter making a decision what should be allowed on it. Let
you,
everything flow because like any decision you make, you're gonna upset half the other people,
AK,
and you're
I
gonna
agree with
that's
you.
what
I
you're
just
doing.
don't know the right answer. Does that make
well,
sense?
the thing
It
is,
does. It makes sense, but go ahead.
we are a bunch of guppies in the ocean, and unfortunately, he's a big fish. He's a whale, and it's easy to identify the shit he's doing because he has a broader audience. He has more shares, and it's gonna scatter compared to one of us going there and say some irate shit, and it gets 1 or 2 likes.
How would you
Like
feel if this was a president you like, though? I mean, that's why I'm just like,
it is what it is at that,
Yeah,
man.
if it's a president that I like, it
I think
still
that's
would be the
easy to
same
say at
thing.
this point. I think that's easy to say at this point.
Not really, because I was a big fan of Charlie Sheen until he pulled the shit he pulled. Then I was like, yo, this motherfucker's out here giving HIV and knowing it. Like,
Yeah.
I, I mean, it changes for person. That's a subjective question because it's person to person. Me personally, I hate like when we had the joke on the one episode when I was like, yo, I listen to R. Kelly, man. I hold that nigga accountable. I am upset, but I listened to that song, but I feel guilty for it. Like I know what I was doing was not right, even though it was just a song. But I'm
Really?
gonna hold you everybody accountable.
Well, yeah, because that continues to build R. Kelly's money
Well, but
pile.
this is the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the
Well,
kitchen.
what I meant
I'ma
by it was
rig that
wrong.
body.
What I meant by being wrong was I played it on a streaming platform, meaning it put money in his pocket.
I
As
think he
opposed
need
to you
money in
just
his
like
pocket.
getting those CDs and playing them at home and just being
Yeah,
like, this was
yeah,
a good song. And then R.
yeah.
Kelly doesn't get anything because them CDs been out for forever and you bought them on eBay because, somebody was getting rid of the whole R. Kelly section and you was like $25 for
Well,
remix to Ignition,
as
That
a
backyard
sounds
party.
oddly personal.
I could have went and downloaded the torrents, but I purposely deleted all the MP3s from my computer when I came to the decision of what happened. So to answer RV's question, me personally, I mean, you can ask that to everybody and see how they feel about it. What if it's somebody you like that they did that to? Are you gonna hold them accountable, keep that same energy, or are you gonna be like, man, I fuck with them though?
No, I'm on the same. Put it like this: it's the president. I don't like that. Like, regardless of how you can't. They cannot do that to the president. I'm
I mean, they
sorry.
can do it to the president. And they did do it to the president.
The president isn't above the bylaws of that platform that basically you agree to the terms and conditions though. That's the
So
thing.
how many times has he broken that shit?
Yeah, I get it, but
Several
how many times have
times that
white
he's
people?
broken that shit.
How many times have white people actually fled to the goddamn Capitol and tried to
Not like
kill his
they.
enablers?
They didn't try to
Not
kill
not tried to.
nobody.
No, they killed a police officer by hitting him over the head with a fire extinguisher. They kill people.
Well,
He is
hold
directly
on.
responsible.
Let's talk about that. You know they let these. You know they let a lot of these motherfuckers in. That's the part they
No,
don't
no, no.
talk about
I'm
this
not
much.
saying that white
Oh, okay.
supremacy wasn't at play here. I'm just saying that one family right now who's demanding why to know why their 42-year-old father is dead. They have those people on video hitting that man over the head with a fire extinguisher because he was doing his job.
Because
Like
his coworkers let him in. That's why.
I'm not saying I'm not
They had
disagreeing
some.
that.
That's why the cops was late, man. They had to go home from the ride and change and come back to the ride.
Exactly,
So they
exactly.
got like different areas where you can see they just let them in the door, and that's the
Well, no, no,
problem with
that's the DC captain lost his job because like when he was confronted with that, he was making excuses, and they're like, "Nigga, no, like you did this, like no, like you can't say that. Oh, well, we were trying, like nigga, no, like the thing about it is, and why Trump is directly at fault is because remember, Trump is the one who told the National Guard that they were not allowed to come in. He's
that's
directly
hearsay.
responsible. No, it's not hearsay. He's literally the captain of the American military
National
machine.
Guard, yeah.
The National
Because
He
Guard is going to be called in by the governor, so
no,
that's
no, that's
there's no governor
the
in DC.
reserve.
It's the
That's
president.
the
yeah. There's no
governor of
God. Yeah.
Maryland.
Maryland has no bearing on DC.
No,
DC
yeah,
is a district on its own. It's separate from Maryland entirely.
yeah. They had to call in DC, Baltimore, and Virginia to come in aid with the
Yeah,
shit.
and they had to call it in and get the permission. Now, that's not to say that blame is solely on Trump. Pence ignored the situation as well, and because all of Donald Trump's cabinet members ignored it, they couldn't bring in there because all of those people in his inner cabinet. The reason that those positions are so important, looking at you, Merrick Garland, is because any of those people have the ability to call. Well, we gonna call it again. We're not just hitting on Trump; we're hitting on all the bullshit. Like Merrick Garland getting AG is the least progressive thing of all time.
Speaking on that, I ain't gonna lie. I got very, very like literally like upset when Lindsey Graham spoke because he was embodying what politics are now. Like it seems like to run to and successfully run and hold a place, You have to be the slimiest and most snakiest of people.
Hold
And
on,
like
what time? I like the first time he spoke because I actually
when
enjoyed
he
his
spoke,
speech.
and he said, "Enough is enough."
Yeah, that was bullshit. Because it's like, nigga, you've been doing this the whole time. Like, you can't even pretend like suddenly you changed a leaf, and it's like enough is enough. This is America. It's
I
like,
think
That
the
nigga, no.
narrative of it is messed up from the beginning, which we don't talk about. It's about they was trying to do a coup. I'm just like, that wasn't a coup. That was
well,
Well,
the
no,
no,
that
dumbest.
is a
it ain't
coup.
even that
Literally,
ain't
a
even.
coup is you saying I don't like the results, therefore we're gonna change it.
I'm talking beyond that. I'm talking beyond that. Like, all right, take
Nah,
away what Trump is, what him talking about that day. Look at his activity and how he moved, along with the others. They politicians act like a fucking sexual predator that will rape somebody and then take them home and not act like anything happened. They won't acknowledge the rape. They just keep
Correct.
moving on about their lives, and that's what aggravated me. He's not acknowledging anything in his ongoing on this shit. He just was like, enough is enough. I prayed for Joe to lose, blah blah blah. But you enabled it. You did a lot of things that was slimy, along with a lot of other people in that office. And
so
that's
can
the
I ask
part
you
that
a
I got to
question?
know.
Is it as crazy as y'all think it is for them to at least do a federal investigation of the election?
No,
Oh, not at all. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though.
It's crazy for them to do a federal investigation, but it's a waste of money.
They
facts,
It
don't mind
is.
facts,
wasting money. They don't mind wasting
facts.
money. You can stop that.
Yeah,
They
really.
already did though.
Republicans do mind wasting money because when we talked about wasting money earlier, when we were saying,
Big.
hey, we want to investigate, the Trump thing or the Russia Trump connection, they were like,
They
this
did
is
do it.
stupid. This, no, but Republicans fought that every step of the way. What we're saying is the hypocrisy is you fighting that every step of the way, but now because you have something you want to investigate, you all of a sudden are like, we need to spend the
But
money on
that's
this.
how government
But
works,
at,
and you
but
know
at the
that, kid.
same time, though, my bad. But at the same time, though, then the Democrats were trying to challenge the election results, and everything was all fine and good. But now that they won in a sketchy way, oh, the results are perfectly fine. There's no
Hold
need to
on,
do
wait,
anything.
wait,
Like
wait. Let's be
on the other
fair.
foot.
Let's be fair. Even when Donald Trump lost, even when Donald Trump won, he did want to. He did question the results. Period. So that's what we're not saying. Even when he won, he questioned the results
He
of the
Well,
questioned the
election.
he
popular
questioned
vote.
it in
Yeah,
front. Yeah, he questioned the popular vote because he thought that he for certain lost that. Which again, we'll never know. I mean,
let's
the
not let's
popular
not
vote.
ignore that
Yeah,
Hillary said verbatim what he was going to do at that debate, where she was like, he's going to say it's crooked, he's going to say it was rigged. Like it
she
was
was right.
easily predicted. Like she's everything that he did, she predicted in that debate, regardless of how we feel about her. That was if it don't work
Crooked
in his
Hillary.
favor, he's going to fucking call all the flags, just like somebody that's playing 2K and get their ass whooped. Man, you cheating.
Bro, the
You got
game
to
cheating, bro.
yeah,
Exactly. The
exactly.
game cheating. The game
That's
cheating,
what he
bro.
pulled, man. He
But
legitimately was like, "Yo, man, how you hitting free throws and I ain't, nigga? Because you suck. Like that's
yo,
why, you know."
despite that, though, man, the Democrats for 4 whole years tried to challenge the results, and that didn't work. They tried to get him out of office, and even when the coronavirus hit, they were blocking helping American people just to make Trump look bad. I mean, come on, man.
They weren't blocking to make
Playing
American
dirty
Yes,
people.
they
They
ball.
wanted
were.
to
Like,
spend
now you
money.
can't try to sit back like they're saints. You know,
Well,
They're,
like
now,
it
I'm
don't
not
no,
work
saying
no,
they're
that
no, no,
way.
no,
saints,
no, no,
but
Ain't
they
no.
no
wanted to
saints. Ain't
spend
no
money.
saints in this shit. It was devil versus devil.
Exactly. This is devil versus devil. But don't act like Republican. Like this is the Republican playbook. Like people always are very short sighted. The Republicans did the same shit when they had the Senate and the House during Bill Clinton's entire career, and they did the same thing to Obama and from 2010 onward. So for Republicans to now all of a sudden grow a conscience and a soul is bullshit because we know it's nothing but ego and the fact that your team's losing.
One thing I would
I
tell
agree.
y'all is always keep your objectivity of both sides. Neither one of them are working for you. They both work for a different set of corporate masters, and they're just trying to
I agree.
appease them.
I
So
agree.
that's where we all stand. Like everyone's like, y'all Democrats, y'all Republicans. Nah, none of that. I'm probably more a populist
Yo,
left guy, but
you
not
you
really.
you just reminded me. All right, so I heard it for the first time out of a white person's that I knew. I know, not new. I respect, honestly. He's an intelligent person. But he always used to come for me every time I spoke critically of the Republicans, thinking I'm a Democrat. And I was like, I'm not a Democrat, bro. I'm independent. I'm a liberal conservative or a conservative liberal, whichever one you want to call it. But he literally was like, when I said they were quiet, I posted a GIF with the a tumbleweed and said, "Man, MAGA supporters right now after they ran Capitol Hill." He was like, "When they run your taxes up, shut the fuck up." And then he replied again underneath it saying, "I don't give a fuck about a party. I don't give a fuck about people. I just give a fuck about what happens to me. And I was like, that's all I ever wanted. And that's how I feel about white people, and that's how they come across with us. They don't give a fuck because it does not apply to them. And when it does apply to them, they get emotional and irate.
And every time, the funny thing about taxes is what I always say for most people, you talking about $40, $50 here and there for most
Bro,
people. Like, I just don't. I'm not really.
that's the shit that pissed me off too. Because I'm like, man, regardless of what happens, you ain't even looking at that until you really don't look at your damn pay stub after you've been somewhere for so many fucking years because you know what to expect. And if you see a little inch
It
gone or
depends
an
on how
inch
much
there,
money you make. But if you're
yeah,
making $100,000 and they took another $1,000, dude, fuck you.
yeah, basically,
I'm sorry.
basically, it's like
Sorry,
it don't even
sorry,
affect
people on this
you.
podcast.
And the person I was talking to was
First and foremost,
military,
how
who's
dare
gonna get
you?
all kinds of cuts. Like he's gonna get all types of favors when he gets his disability and stuff that other people don't get. So I'm like, I don't want to hear shit about you bitching about taxes when you're gonna be exempt to a lot of stuff when it's all said and done, and you're exempt to a lot of shit now. Like it's
Great taxes.
hypocritical.
Taxes are strange, man. I just feel like one thing I will always say about taxes: when the Democrats raise taxes, they always act like they're gonna do it on rich people. Truth is, they're gonna do it on all people, and that's the thing about it. Like, when are y'all gonna really just literally raise them on rich people? Like, literally, like, come on, just do it.
Well,
Y'all will be
the only
okay.
people who are going to raise it on rich people are the people that are supposed to be the fiscally conservative party, but they only give cuts to the rich people. We need to take the tax rate back to what it used to be at so we can build some things because I hope Biden understands his infrastructure plan is going to fail because we ain't got 7 trillion to fix all our highways and make our stuff,
I
the stuff of
guarantee
the
they tie
future.
them checks
Oh
to it.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we absolutely. You know,
The
33%
American credit
We
card.
of
hey
all the
we
U.S. dollars. You know, 33% of all the U.S. dollars that have ever been printed have been printed this year or
No,
last
no,
year.
I agree with you there. I'm saying that Republicans aren't going to let him do it, and that's why I'm saying
$33.
he ain't got the money.
we gonna get the money because they're gonna open up the trade again with all them tariffs lifted and everything gonna be free flowing again.
Nah, they need to keep them
Nah,
tariffs on
I think the
China.
China stuff is here to stay for a while because
Yeah,
Trump made an excellent point in his Southeast Asian stuff. He was like, "Look, guys, at this point in time, China ain't fucking with us, and all these other countries ain't for us. So we need to plan like that. And to be
I
honest, we
thought it
can't
was
even be
so
mad at him.
funny. I think it's so funny. They're like, what do y'all think about the other countries think of us? Come on. I'm like, man, fuck them countries. They don't care about you. Like, y'all really sit up here and think Chinese people be like, well, Americans need good jobs too.
No, no, no. Well,
But
it's crazy that we say that and like we act like we're the great big people that are getting things done, but the best worker strike ever just took place in India and your media didn't cover it at all because they actually got 250 million people to go on strike and they were blocking roads like they shut that shit down. They were like, we need better prices for farmers because like 15% of their labor force is farmers. And it's like, yeah, it's not sustainable, but the government had to agree to buy their grain at a specific rate. Like that's how you get workers strike down. It's like y'all be like, oh, y'all ain't gonna do this. We shutting the country down. Let us know
All
when
right,
you want to get back
America,
to business again.
Americans try to do that. They're going to start blocking the leaders of this foment
Uh,
operation.
Also, we don't pay a portion of the taxes all the other countries do.
It
Not
depends
Yeah,
on what
you're
countries
right.
you're talking about.
hmm?
Depends on what country you're talking about.
Shit. What taxes? What countries pay less taxes enough outside of the ones where you like
Outside tax
yeah.
havens? Outside of
Correct.
tax havens?
the
Oh,
Arabian
okay.
countries don't. A lot of those Arabian countries, like Saudi Arabia, for example, they don't have a tax. They don't even know what a tax is. If you bring it up to them, like, what is that?
Have you ever been there?
No, but I've spoken to a lot of people.
No, no.
I'm
I'm
not
just saying. I'm
finding.
not like questioning you. I'm just saying like it ain't an ideal place that anybody wants to live either, though.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
But you just asked if there was
but
taxes.
it,
Like,
No, no.
you don't
You're not.
you don't
You're
know
right.
though. There's a difference though. When you don't know what you don't know, then you're fine as far as living in that society.
True.
Right? Like
Yeah. I
America,
mean, you're right.
we know how good it can be, and we know how bad it can be, and
No,
that's what we talk
I
about.
I did a recent essay that research essay that I think is still like a good almost 40% of the world doesn't have internet. So you right in that. Because if just like in North Korea, the motherfuckers ain't got internet, so they don't know what the fuck's going on. They thought that fucking Kim Jong Un didn't even fucking take a shit because he said that, and they can't research it
Well,
because them niggas ain't got Google.
I mean, only 1 billion people actually have it. And people keep forgetting that we're closing in on 8 billion people in the world. So you got to think 1 out of every 7 people has the internet. The other 6 people listen to either the paper or the television station. So they're not just skewed; they're skewed on the level that y'all complaining about Trump and all these other people when they have the ability to research their opinion. Whereas most of the world, you don't have the ability to research. It's whatever your local czar decides is the news. That's what the news is, and you just got to deal with it.
So on this Trump thing, we're kind of split. Y'all think that he should be able to be blocked by
No,
private
I don't think that
companies?
he should. I think that he's a regular person, therefore he is able to be banned. Like again, when big tech originally started coming in, the government didn't want to touch it because they were paying some taxes and they're doing the things. This is the consequences for it. And if we're going to say that big tech has to do that, then we're essentially opening it up to any other business because trust and believe, if Amazon is forced to do that, they're going to make it to where everyone, like if somebody curses you out in Walmart, you're going to be able to sue. Like you're just opening an avalanche of stupid decisions if you
So
decide that big tech has to allow any opinion that they want, because then you're saying that any company has allowed anything. If I go into your job and decide to shit on the floor, I had a right to.
So no, the only thing they wanted to hold them accountable is like if you are a newspaper or editorial or any type of source, if you print false information, then you can be held accountable for it. The
You
problem with
currently
them,
can. That's how the MAGA kid won the lawsuit against the Washington Post and CNN. He got
correct,
$43
but
million.
yeah, but if Facebook does that, they're not held accountable. The only problem I see with that is I don't think the problem is users can post all the fake information they want, and they don't want to be held accountable for what their users post.
Well, yeah,
And
that's
I'm just like, that's where it gets
but
kind
those
of
things go
strange.
hand in hand. Like currently, no one is held accountable for fake news that they post.
Correct.
If that happens, it'll be the worst thing for conservatives because they post more of the bullshit than anyone else.
That's not true. They both
Oh
do.
no.
They
That's
both
not
do.
true, bro. That's not
They
true.
both
The
do.
Democrats are saying that men could be women and women are men.
I'm not
Come
telling
on.
you what I think. I'm telling you what
No.
I know. I do this for a living. As an actual fact check, they post more bullshit than anyone. The problem that you're getting on is Democrats remove key pieces of truth. You're right. And that's still bad. But that's not the same thing as putting straight bullshit. Them niggas are still going on right now saying Antifa incited the riots. And that's 1000% false. They said that the guy who had the Viking helmet on was an Antifa supporter. He's been pro-Trump QAnon since literally when he started doing stuff in Arizona. And you can check his fucking TikToks. Like,
Can I ask you?
that's the difference is Republicans will go on straight absolute bullshit. Democrats just remove the nuance. Well, they'll say things like, well, Trump has never done anything right. And it's like, that is complete and totally bullshit. His
Yeah, that
Southeast
is.
Asia policy is right. But again, there's a difference between outright lying and removing the nuance. These are
Hold
not
on.
the same. So we need to cancel out the outright lying because again, if you tighten down on conservatives, you're going to tighten down on Democrats next because once you get done with all the bullshit fake news posts, the ones that you're going to go to next are going to be the ones where it's like, well, actually, Donald Trump never said that premises need to whatever. It's like, that's now becomes the highest priority lie. But you can't do that when you've got millions of pieces of content that are outright lies clogging up the whole fucking pipeline.
Hold on. Okay, so I got a true or false statement for everybody. Just leave it at true or false. Is there a bit of grandstanding with this whole situation where they're trying to just make sure he never runs for office again?
Yeah. I mean, true.
I have no idea.
Partially false.
Okay, interesting.
Exactly.
I think they're just trying to set him up so he never has to run again with this whole 25th. And by the way, guys, remember this 25th Amendment when Joe Biden? I would say about 2-3 years. Remember this 25th Amendment. I'm just
Well, they
saying,
said
remember
this the
that.
circumstances that they're trying to use it for him is not the traditional circumstances. They're supposed to
Correct.
be for when they're
What I'm saying is
mentally
traditional. It's
incapacitated.
going to be used in the traditional way about 2 or 3 years.
So let me ask
Hey,
y'all this.
then you gonna have Auntie Kamala, boy.
I'm
Let me
telling you.
ask y'all this.
I think that is a difference of opinion there. But they can't invoke the 25th Amendment to remove him from never be able to again. They have to impeach and convict. And the problem is they're running out of time to do both. Because
Well,
Mitch
they said
McConnell,
no. He could
again,
be impeached. He could be impeached after the fact too, because basically
yeah, but
the other thing
to
is they're
impeach
taking his
after the
benefits.
fact is to impeach after the fact would be us essentially setting a new constitutional everything. And I don't think not I don't think Democrats are too pussy to do that.
I don't know.
Oh no, Joe Biden. I don't think he wants to sustain in his first 100 days. Them playing around with some fucking
Well,
grandstanding in
it's not
politics.
even that. Like Democrats literally don't have the balls. You have people like Joe Manchin who are going to do whatever the fuck is the easiest thing for them to do right now. You've got yeah, sure, the House will do it, but the House doesn't run anything. The House is
Nope.
like the wife side of the government. The husband side is the Senate. Like
Pause.
we can
Oh,
keep
you
going.
are sexist.
It's sexist, but it is
I
what it
can't
is.
agree with that.
Okay,
And
what can the
What does
House
the
do
House do?
currently? What can the House do currently that will mess Trump up for the rest of his life? Because they impeached him. Yeah, they did. But being impeached doesn't mean anything. You have to be
yeah, not if
convicted.
he doesn't resign.
It wasn't a full impeachment.
No, it's an impeachment. It stands on the record books.
Yeah, but
But
it
he
doesn't.
got
It
acquitted.
does. But the thing, yeah, I'm about to say he got acquitted. If he gets fully impeached, he won't have Secret Service for the rest of his life. He won't get all the
Yeah, I
benefits
would
that they
I
get
would love
afterwards.
that. I would love
Yeah,
that. But
like
at the
that's the only
same
reason
time,
I'm down for that because I'm like I don't feel like he's earned that type
You
of.
know,
He
if
gets us. Doesn't he get a pension too?
yeah,
yeah, he gets a pension as
he
well.
Like
gets his
there you
They're gonna
go.
take
salary,
that away too.
Yeah, all that shit. He's getting all that till he dies. He's already somebody ripping off America, us taxpayers, and all that shit. So
I'm gonna
on
let
some
you
petty
know a
shit,
little secret. If they would have never tried to impeach him that first time, it'll probably make more sense to do it now, and that's the problem.
that's
Well,
Pelosi's fault. That was Pelosi's
if
fault.
they had not tried the first time, then they would have had nothing to give their base, which would have kept people down. Like the
And
thing that people forget is like both sides are playing cheerleader. Like Trump is playing into the QAnon whatever bullshit because it definitely helps with his base, and Democrats were playing into this. We're going to impeach him as if they were going to have a chance in hell of getting
can
an
I can I
actual. Go ahead.
can I ask you guys y'all a question? Am I wrong for basically not thinking that Nancy Pelosi, as we see her now, has operated off of emotions this term and basically
Mm-mm.
doesn't
You mean
aid
last term?
this term, this with the term that just his the Trump administration.
Yeah,
Does it
yeah,
feel
that's what I'm
like
saying.
that?
Last term, because
Yeah. Does
this
it?
started a new term. Yeah, she operated
That's,
off of emotion.
do
That's
you
not you
think?
being sexist.
Do you think that helps or hurts female politicians in the future that's going for that
It does.
position
It's
and
not going to do
currently?
anything because no one's going to ever be able to hold her to the level of accountability that you should, because her party basically has to coalesce around her. Nancy Pelosi has put herself in one of the best. Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell are two sides of the same coin,
Yep.
and that's the thing
Yeah.
that people hate to admit is that people bitch and moan about whichever one of these they hate, but they're the same person.
It's hard not to see that. You got to be in denial to say that though. People that saying that are just
No,
not.
but so many people are in denial about it because they hate looking at it. Like the difference with Nancy is Nancy will allow Republicans to do some bullshit. Mitch will just not even bring bills to the floor, and literally based on how we have things set up, that's completely illegal. And
All
if we
Mitch
Yeah.
cares
change that,
about is judges. That's all Mitch cares about.
yeah,
Is
Do
judges.
that's
he?
why he only brought
Hey,
judges. He gets
y'all
the first
remember?
lick.
Remember the
Go ahead.
first X-Men movie? Remember the politician that they turned into a mutant and he melted? Don't that look like Mitch?
Yeah, it does. It
Hmm.
does look like Mitch,
I low key
and that's
thought they
how
would have
Mitch
thought of him.
behaves. He behaves like a slimy little turtle,
Oh yeah.
and he never got the juice, so he didn't become a
I'm
teenage
sorry.
mutant ninja turtle.
Tax cuts and judges. That's all he doing. That's all he does. Tax cuts and judges.
Yeah,
That's all he
tax
does.
cuts and judges. That's how he's been. That's how it
Who is
always
this
will be.
tax cuts benefiting? Just the rich, right? The
His wife,
4,500 companies
excuse me.
and the
I mean, most tax cuts benefit the rich because the rich pay most of the taxes, but we don't talk about that part.
Yeah,
they don't.
poor
I
people
mean,
already
shit, they
pay
don't.
taxes.
I mean, if
To
you
be
think
honest,
about
poor
it,
people
No,
barely
no,
pay
per
taxes.
volume, the rich pay
Yeah.
most of the taxes. Do they pay their fair? What's the equivalent of fair share? No, but that's a whole
No.
nother argument.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've done this
Yeah.
topic
We
some
just got.
justice.
Yeah, we didn't get no advertising on this goddamn post.
Yeah, we're gonna get nothing
No,
on this podcast.
Hold
But
on. I got it. White power. All right, we should be good. We
all
should
right,
be
cool.
now.
White power. All
oh,
right,
we
cool, cool,
Oh no,
cool.
that's the wrong one, bro.
we
Like
got
white power
canceled.
isn't good anymore.
No, white power is still strong and still long.
Oh, I didn't finish the sentence. White Power Ranger. Oh, okay, cool. I just
Oh,
fixed
oh,
it.
yeah. Now
Oh
now
yeah,
you're getting
yeah.
it. You hit the
Yeah,
nostalgia nerve.
y'all ever get that little? Y'all ever understand why he was never the White Power Ranger when he was never the Power Ranger? He was always like the
Yes,
Dragon
I
Power.
know
Yeah.
exactly why he was never. He said dragon power because if he had said
Right.
white power, that would have
The
been
room
all the
gets
advertising
quiet.
dollars.
I never thought about that until I got older. I was just like, he could never say White Power Ranger.
I thought of that just because I seen a meme that did that when everybody was doing this. It was like Black Power Ranger, White Power. My bad, guys.
Exactly. White power. Oh, and now we're canceled. And now
Right.
we're canceled.
That shit was hilarious.
But
Yeah,
you brought up our Reed, the hood nigga argument. Can you go into that?
I can't remember what we were talking about. Go ahead.
Is that everybody want to be a nigga from the hood, but the hood ain't a place to be from?
Most definitely. If y'all understand this, let's go back. All right. So, like when we growing up, y'all ever notice? I don't know if everybody else background situation. All Mike gave us a little bit of his situation. For us, for the most part, we grew up in East Atlanta, or what
At
y'all would
my
consider East
hood.
Atlanta. Me myself, I consider the suburbs. So one thing you'll notice about everybody from Atlanta or surrounding Atlanta, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. Most people who say they from Atlanta, not really from Atlanta. And they're like,
Correct.
damn, what you mean?
No.
But that's because Chicago, that's the only thing people talk about. Like everybody, like, what state you from? Chicago? What state you from? Atlanta? Like,
Illinois,
nobody knows
bro.
shit else. Nobody knows no shit about.
People know about Decatur, Georgia.
They know about
I
it,
wasn't.
Lithonia, because that one Outcast lyric, the 86
I
L.
was. I was offended that the city or area called Bankhead was the bad area and Buckhead was the rich area. I was confused.
You'll be very confused. Those places aren't as good as bad as you think. You might want to reverse
No,
it on
exactly.
Well,
that.
Like
I
Bankhead actually got some really good parts, and Buckhead got some places that'll make you be like, is this Chicago?
my
Is this
biggest
what we doing?
complaint my biggest complaint about it was y'all fucking aquarium, man. Y'all had one of the ratchetest aquariums I've ever been to in my life
Oh,
that gave
dude, look.
no
First and
no type of
foremost,
discounts. And it's expensive.
our
Ain't no
aquarium
type of
is
discount.
ratchet with no discounts, and you're gonna
Bro,
see some women wearing some things that make you go, "Why do you have
all
children?" And
all
then you
y'all
look
got
at
is
her and you're
that
like,
big ass tank.
"That's why you have children."
You go free on your birthday.
Exactly.
Man, every other aquarium I went to let
For
me in
real?
free because I'm a fucking
Yeah.
veteran, man.
Yeah.
Like this place made
I
me
never
pay
been to the
what?
aquarium.
It ain't you gonna want to.
I mean, it's all right. I mean,
The
it's just
aquarium's
fucking
okay.
fish. It's fucking,
I
it's
mean, yeah,
not
it's just
me.
fish watching dolphins and watching people get splashed
That's
and
a horrible.
looking
But the thing
around.
is, all right, I gotta ask y'all this about that. I mean, we can get back to the topic, but I was kind of upset being there because I didn't feel like there was nothing eclectic, artsy, pretentious, any of the different sectors to do if you were like there trying to go on a date. It's just go to downtown, hookah bar, turn up somewhere. Like, where else is there to go inside Atlanta? I ain't talking about none of the surrounding areas. I'm talking about inside Atlanta. There's only one
Well, it
thing.
depends on if people love you. If they loved you, they would have told you about Sweet Lounge, where you could have turned up back in the day, and you could have hung out, acted pretentious, talked a lot of shit, and had a good time.
There's a
Per-
lot of places you could have went back in the day. Wasn't another one though, like the Velvet Room or something like that?
Oh no, you can still go to the
I'm talking
Velvet
about in
Room,
the
but it just
last
ain't the
2 years,
same.
though. I'm literally talking
Okay,
about the
bro.
last 2 years.
If you come to Atlanta, you go to strip clubs and clubs. I mean, that's about it.
Look, man,
Yeah.
I'm burnt out on those. I ain't gonna lie.
Aren't
All
we
right,
Unless
then
all?
I'm
if you were feeling bougie, you and your girl can get dressed up, in almost wedding attire, and you can go down to what is it,
The
the
Gold
blue
Room.
the blue, I forget what the name of the bar
Blue
is, but
Martini.
it's no, not the Blue Martini. It's the one that's in the Omni, but
I
Well,
mean, what
the
did you
re
want to do?
no,
You can
but
go to
like, all right,
the garden. I mean,
the
I don't
perfect
know what you want to
example
do.
is
I would
like
recommend you really going there.
Dallas, like Dallas. In Dallas, there is so many different flavors in that city that you can go to. You can just pick. And I ain't talking about dress up. I don't feel like dressing up every time. But like,
Okay,
there's the area with bars, and the bars are a mixture. You got the one super ratchet bar, but then you
they
got
got that.
the
They
one
got
that
that.
niggas gotta.
Whiskey
I
Blue,
know. But they
Whiskey
got
Blue
the
is where
one
you want to
where
go.
you could be dressed up
You can
like
hit
Barack
Peter Street.
Obama, and as a black man, you can't get in. You got
Correct.
the artsy district. You got the college area. Like it's just uptown, downtown, Deep Ellum. Like it's
Atlanta's
so
more
much.
spread out than that. That's the difference here. Atlanta's
Because you
more
could go
spread
to
out.
East Atlanta for that. Like it's there. It's just a matter of where you like. What were you looking for?
Correct.
Like,
I just honestly, I like the luxury of just being able to wander, and that's
Oh
why
yeah,
I
you're
don't
not
like it
gonna
being
get that in
scattered
Atlanta.
out. Yeah, that's the thing. Atlanta don't give you the opportunity to wander.
well, you could wander down in Atlantic Station and
Uh yeah.
Reed.
I
Speaking
already
of,
know
Charlie
where he's
said
about to
he,
go. I
he's
already
trying
know
but
to
where
get
he's
his
about to
man
go with
shot.
that.
but
He's trying to
but
get his
back
man shot.
to the topic though. Who anybody else know anybody that's like that was acting hood and shit? You find out they from Mayberry.
I mean, everybody does.
Quavo,
Black people have this thing.
Offset,
Like, yeah,
like
Look,
I
man.
mean,
Look,
all
that
them
is one of
niggas.
my
The kid,
mortal. Quavo is my mortal enemy that don't know me. I hate that
why?
because every
take off.
every Atlanta nigga that I met outside of Atlanta acts like Quavo, and that to me, I just be want to square with them because they be acting like they the local celebrity. They did shit.
Quavo pretends to be like he a West Side nigga when they some North Side niggas. And I'm sorry,
Exactly. They some Northside niggas.
growing up, North Side just wasn't that spot. I don't know if y'all know about the North Side, but the North Side was an affluent area, and
Quavo looks like a successful fucking stud.
He
that's
is a
hilarious.
successful stud. Him and his girl been going steady for about 6 months. They about to get married.
I don't
What
want to
girl?
see the build a bitch. I don't even like talking about her.
Which one?
First and foremost, you leave Saweetie alone.
Oh,
Build a
her.
She
bitch. Say
has
build a
she
bitch.
has She has turned
The latest
Quavo
model.
into the kind of stud that studs want to be.
The what is it? The swap meet version of Nicki Minaj.
I mean,
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
you
Pretty
mean
much.
just
She
Nicki
is swap meet.
Minaj?
They
No,
enhanced her.
she's
No,
swap
no,
meeting
no.
Nicki Minaj.
Because Nicki Minaj has the original replacement body parts. Saweetie got the upgraded versions.
Well,
Correct.
technically, if you want to get, Lil Kim was the first person to turn herself
Lil
into a
Kim, look,
Chinese
man.
cat.
Let's not talk about because she looked like a Thundercat. I'm mad at what she did with her.
You
her
leave
fucking,
Thundercat Kim alone.
she was beautiful, man. Before, like,
Was she? She was alright.
yes, she
Thunder Kim.
was. She
She
was.
was pretty good. She was about
Yeah,
a
I
7 out
second
of
that.
10.
Lil Kim was definitely attractive.
She
Maybe
was.
because
Of
I
course,
wasn't a fan.
You
she
don't
turned
like
herself
dark
into a
skinned women, or
cartoon
you don't like
character.
chocolate
That's
women.
not true. That's not true.
That's not true.
Name one.
That's not true.
Name one.
He
Name
thinks
one.
SZA is awesome.
He now likes
Foxy,
dark skinned
SZA
women.
Foxy
doesn't even
Brown,
classify in
SZA,
that category because she's still light as shit to me.
SZA ain't
Foxy,
cute.
First
I
and
like
foremost,
Foxy.
art.
Tatiana, that's the first argument that you've made all day. Continue.
Oh yeah, you always be with the crowd. Go ahead, give him the shit.
Yeah, go
I
ahead. Go
have
ahead.
nothing else to
Tell,
say.
tell us who the
SZA
black.
doesn't
That's
Tell
some
us who the
classify.
black.
bullshit.
Who
Reed seemed
SZA
like
do
the
you
Don't.
type
like
that
it?
don't like dark skinned women but don't want to admit it.
India Ari. Boom. That bitch was gorgeous.
Yeah, any
He
Ari
said
is
that. He said
beautiful.
that bitch was gorgeous.
That woman is beautiful. That woman
She
is
But if
is
she
beautiful.
though.
was light skinned, would you have called her a bitch?
Yeah, he would
Yeah,
have.
he definitely
He
is.
would have. He would
I
have.
mean, he's not as bad as Armstead with female, but he'll still. The difference is with
He
the thing
called
that
him
I love.
female because he don't know their name.
No, the reason that he calls them females because that's just how y'all have grown up, and at this point in time, y'all probably not going to change. But for you, you will say some nice things about a woman, and then you end it with bitch.
Yeah, that's a beautiful bitch right there. Like,
Exactly.
Like stunning bitch
You
right
can
But he
there.
don't
say,
mean that he don't mean that in a disrespectful way. You know what
hey,
I'm saying? Women
I
can
mean
oh,
get
that
but
as
not
a
in a
mad at all
female.
types.
disrespectful way.
SZA
It's a
looks like a pixie
profanity.
to me, man. I ain't gonna lie. She looks like a pixie. What's up with her nose
She looked
and
like
lips?
Roger from American Dad to me, but that's just not her.
That's
Damn,
hilarious.
that is
Whoa.
cold. That is
Damn.
cold. Why is there woman on woman violence in this podcast?
Because I think she overrated. They trying to make her the next Lauryn Hill, and she don't deserve that shit.
I
No,
So,
she
mean, look,
doesn't.
first and foremost, Lauren Hill don't deserve that shit.
oh,
Yes, she
Lauryn Hill was
does.
cute. She was cute
Lauren,
when she was
No.
growing
all
up.
right, look, put it like this: Lauryn Hill from Sister Act all the way to the Miseducation. No,
No,
Correct.
no,
Unplugged.
you're
I'm gonna
right.
give
Lauren
no, no.
Hill
I'm gonna
till
give her
then, but
Unplugged. No, because Unplugged was a dope ass album too. Her MTV Unplugged.
Unplugged was a dope album, but you were riding high on feelings.
I'm not. I'm
Nostalgia.
not. Because I don't put it like this. I don't
Nostalgia.
even like. I don't like X Factor. I don't like any of the songs
Ari,
off of it.
tell him that quote about Trump that we said for the millionth time.
I don't know which
Was
one. We said a couple of them.
80s Trump was cool as shit, and nobody ever
Oh
wants to
yeah,
acknowledge it.
80s Trump rep. He represented what they call it, the preppy, or what they call it, the 80s. That 80s
The yuppie
yuppie.
culture.
Yeah, they used to
I
love Donald
never,
Trump
I never, I never really understood that either. Because every time I saw him, he just
because
reminded
black
me
people
of.
weren't yuppies.
Yeah, but that's the difference is white people want to distance themselves from Trump now, but all of them wanted to be Trump back during his heyday,
No, no,
which
no, no.
was
Keep it 100.
I
It
mean,
was
black people too. Let's be
niggas was
honest.
taking money to party with him because they
That's the
like
90s. We talking about
Snoop
80s.
admitted that he said I took the money because he wanted some cool black people around. That shit to me is some prostitute type shit.
I
I
mean,
mean, it is
y'all niggas.
prostitute type
That
shit, but
that
we always talk that
Snoop
musicians
was
are
an
the biggest
escort basically,
prostitutes that
man.
there are.
They
Yeah,
this goes
but
are
back to the
musicians are the
original
biggest.
subject
Exactly.
what?
because everybody wants to be something that they're not to some extent, and like
Correct.
whether he admitted or not, he wanted to hang around a fucking billionaire and see if he can get something from him.
Well, not billionaire. At that point, he was just a multimillionaire, but I hear you.
Because
Imagine how many
Oprah.
black people did that back at
Saigon
that time period, though.
Saigon
I mean,
admitted
black
that
people
on
do
his
that
drinks.
today.
Yeah.
On
You
his
leave
Drink
them
Champs
Instagram thoughts
interview,
alone.
Saigon was talking about what the world he was in when he was on Entourage versus the rapper world, and he was like, it's a whole different environment.
The entourage world is completely different, and people always forget that it's entourage gives you a small insight to what rich white people in Silicon Valley do. And we're not talking like baby rich. We're talking about the
Filthy
the
rich.
almost billionaires that you don't hear about because they're smart enough to be venture capitalists and keep their name out your mouth.
I mean,
Because even
I,
Oprah used to fuck with him, which we don't talk about.
No,
But
no, no, no,
Kevin,
no, no. Oprah used to fuck with a lot of people from Weinstein
I'm
on
about to
down.
say Oprah did everything. I'm pretty sure she either sold her or Stedman's soul to make it to her
No, no, no.
success.
She didn't sell Stedman Soul. Oprah was willing to do whatever it takes, and I mean whatever it takes to get on. I'm just
That
saying.
all right.
She was
So
like, "Look,
my gripe,
I will do whatever.
my
Look at her,
gripe
the
with
color purple."
her. I get that. My gripe with her, even when they tried to claim her in Chicago, I didn't really care for her because I've never heard her name in the whole looking out and doing things like even not even for money. Speaking out. Oprah don't speak out. As somebody that was raped twice as a teenager, she don't even speak out against that shit. That's why I
I
don't
mean,
fuck with
was
Well,
she?
Oprah.
well, the thing about it is
Damn.
Oprah was likely raped twice.
She
But
Likely.
the
that's in her
difference here
bio. Yeah.
is Oprah does not want to. Oprah does not want her brand associated with that. So it's in her bio, but it's a part that white people skip over.
Because I mean, it's just that's the hypocritical part about her. Outside of she claims to help blacks, but I don't see that. Like
No,
ones in Africa
no,
get
not Black
corporate
America.
money.
No,
Yeah.
not Black
Okay.
America. She remember the reason that Oprah put so much into the African schools because Oprah wants you to remember her for that. Oprah
Even though
don't
they
want to
ain't
be
her
one of
money.
us. Oprah wants you to remember her money and
Even
her philanthropy.
I mean, I just I can't herald her because your voice is more powerful than your money, and she don't use her voice for
Yeah,
shit
but that's
except
if you
She
for
want to
does
use your
for
voice.
white women.
This is going back to
well,
AK's
no,
argument earlier, which
for
is
bringing down black men too.
well, yeah, but again, Oprah's argument is Oprah it wants to make as much money as possible, and as AK was saying about whether or not social media companies need to do this, does Oprah need to be about black? Like we always love to
No.
bring up people as our heroes, but most of these niggas don't give a fuck about you.
Truth.
So
I believe
to
rappers care more about you than you think.
I'm
to
about to say Jeezy been giving away turkeys in Atlanta for damn near two
look,
decades, but y'all niggas won't throw that man no roses.
I don't know why. I mean, outside of the last trash few albums he dropped, I ain't got nothing against him.
First and foremost, I don't care if you're dropping trash. White people been dropping shitty albums since forever,
Yeah,
raping
but
women and getting away with it. And a rapper drops mediocre albums, and all of a sudden we supposed to turn on him.
oh no,
Hold
I
on,
would say I don't see why
his
people are
album
against
suck.
Jeezy. Like no, the last three were trash, but I don't see
See,
why
the thing
people
is,
are they hate
Jeezy's
him
getting old
for.
though. He's getting old. Like it's a whole new wave, different kind of music now. Like it just doesn't fit in as much.
Oh,
So
I ain't
his
knocking
album
that.
could be dope, but you know, it's
Well,
just
no,
not the
he is not willing to give it up. It's like you've what's the
I thought
word
he
You
is
leave
retired.
Ti
transition.
alone.
He's transitioned to something bigger than a rapper, and you don't have it no more. You don't have the talent, but you don't want to bring talent in either. That's the argument we had before, discussion we had before about people are in their own way, like Tory Lanez. Nigga, you don't have it. You don't. Ti's
But here's
that last album is trash too. But it's like they want to be
It
the
was okay.
spotlight. They don't want to. Everybody wants to
Yeah,
be
that's okay.
Diddy, and even Diddy knew that I can't write. My time is up. I'm
but
gonna
to
get
bring
you.
it back to the
Niggas are
Oprah
sociopaths.
argument though, like here's the thing. Like even if Oprah, like let's be honest, any black person that has a major platform like that, anytime that they come out and actually try to help black people, what happens to them? Like when
Can
they
I ask you
use
a
their
question?
mic.
When has that happened?
Do you
Uh,
remember?
Bill
Do,
Come on,
do,
uh,
do you remember
Bill
what
Cosby.
Oprah's show was before this? You remember what her show was before it became that show? She was like doing Jenny Jones type shit with midgets, fucking trailer park trash type shit. Like
bro.
she was a gimmick off the back
Yeah.
before she became this prestigious fucking talk show. She wasn't all the way respectable and doing like
And they didn't want
respectable.
her to
Yeah,
do that. That's one thing I'll give Oprah is that they didn't want Oprah to transition into the Oprah show. They wanted her to keep with the gimmicky shit because they were basically sidelining her between two white shows, and they didn't want her to get more shine. And then when she did get the shine, they acted like they always had wanted Oprah to succeed. And it's like, nigga, no, we
and
know history.
and on top of that, like I would say, regardless if you do or don't do, you're gonna be in the conversation just because you're in the public eye. Like that's a conversation that we don't have about all these celebrities, performers, and anything. Nobody asked you to go and become a performer unless you were fucking farmed like a Jackson child. But like you chose this
R.I.P.
profession, and that's what comes with the profession. That is a part of it. So I don't want to
Correct.
hear you crying about, oh, y'all talking about this, this, and that. You ain't complaining when they
Wow,
flushing
you're
that
really
money your
attacking
way.
Summer Walker right now.
No, no, fuck her. I don't really care about her either. Cardi B too, all of them. Like, don't complain about the people that made you who you
Well,
are.
no,
Because
Cardi
That's
B
a
didn't
good transition.
complain.
the minute the
Yeah, that's a
eyes,
great transition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was another great episode of the Everyday Black Man podcast. I know that you're ready for that next topic. We're going to pick right back up here in music next week. Please remember to follow us on Twitter at EDYD Black Men, Instagram Everyday Black Men, and the Everyday Black Men Facebook page. Peace.